Hi, I'm Eric Searfoss Miller, local judge. With me today is Wyatt Gibson. You may have seen him on the Grand Prix periodically, Star City Opens, and you were on a Pro Tour once. Yeah, it was very awesome. Today, we have something that looks simple at first, but kind of gets more complicated the more you look at it. We have Mono Red Frenzy. You've added a little bit of spice to this deck as well, I believe. You've told me. I haven't looked at it yet, but we're going to figure that out as we go. So why would you play Mono Red Frenzy over other decks in Standard right now?
I think it has the most explosive draws in Standard, and if you're just looking to have fun, it's a great option. I think the matchup's okay if you know the deck, but it's definitely different than last season's Mono Red aggro.
Oh yeah? Okay, well, let's get right into the deck. So we have, right up here, we have Gitu Lava Runner, Viashino Pyromancer, Fanatical Firebrand, and Chain Whirler as your creature package. Yeah. Walk me through what each of these perform.
So the Gitu Lava Runner turns on your Wizard's Lightnings, which is pretty important. You want at least 8 Wizards to be doing that to make them proper bolts. It just deals damage. Basically, the main function of the 20 main deck creatures is to deal damage as fast and efficiently as possible. Pyromancer is good against Golgari because it can hit their Planeswalkers in addition to their face if you need to. It's good against Control because they're getting shocked no matter what. And they also have to deal with the 2-1. Firebrand is good against the other creature decks in the format.
One toughness is there are a lot of
X1s. All of X1. So all the Explore creatures are X1 before they start exploring, except for Seeker Squire. It's great against Mono Blue Tempo because a lot of their creatures are 1/1s that just try to do that. Goblin Chain Whirler further punishes X1s and the shenanigans like that. So Boros aggro. This is not the matchup they want to see most of the time.
Yup. Then we got Runaway Steamkin. I love this card.
Steamkin's great with the Frenzy package. It's what helps contribute to the explosive draws of the deck. You can play a Frenzy on turn 4 and still have mana to keep going off. With this Steamkin, for example, there's so many uses for it. There's so much mana you can pump out early and just have an explosive turn.
Awesome. So then that pretty much covers the creatures.
Yeah.
Then we have down here we have Shock, Wizard's Lightning, Lightning Strike, Lava Coil.
Yeah. So this is your basic burn package, just trying to deal damage to the creatures in the face as best as possible. Lava Coil is a newer main deck inclusion, and because of the rise of Golgari, and we've cut Phoenixes, so we needed to fill the slot. Lava Coil main deck is insane against decks like Drakes and Golgari. We just need to get rid of the creatures. X4 is very important in the format.
And then Experimental Frenzy, the namesake of the deck. Talk me through this card. What does this card do?
Turns your deck into your hand in simple terms. Lets you go off and chain crazy spells together. Once you spend the early game just emptying your hand out turns 1 through 4, just doing as much damage as possible. And then usually when other decks will be able to turn the corner against aggro, so stabilizing, you slam this down and you just stay all the way throughout, applying pressure constantly.
All right. So what Experimental Frenzy does specifically, though, you can no longer play cards from your hand.
Yes.
And you can look at the top card of your deck at any time, is it?
Yeah, anytime you want.
Anytime, and then you can play cards from the top of your library. And that allows you to play your 1 land per turn from the top.
Yep.
But if you have a second land, you do not get to play that.
Right.
But you can just jam cards as fast and as furiously as possible as long as you have the mana, which this guy, the Runaway Steamkin, does a very good job of.
Yes. One nice thing about Frenzy is that it gives you the option to destroy it yourself. So if you do find yourself with a hand that's built up and nothing to do off the top of your library, you have the option to continue going.
Absolutely. So I'm looking over here. We've covered this. You got 22 mountains. I love a simple mana base. It's great.
Oh yeah.
So let's go talk about this sideboard because there's some weirdness going on over here, right?
Yeah.
You called it a transformative sideboard.
Yes. So the idea of postboard is just to go big, then your opponent maximize Frenzy. So you bring in all 4 treasure maps for a lot of matchups just because the Scry helps you keep getting double lands off the top with Frenzy. It also just helps you ramp, basically. So you get to go on turn 5, say you could kick a Fight with Fire and deal 10 to their face or something like that. So most matchups you're bringing in Fight with Fire, treasure maps, and the extra Lava Coil is just to have extra removal and control the board. You kind of turn into a mid-range control deck postboard. Fire Cannonades for the other aggro decks in the format as well as the tokens decks. It just keeps the board clear for you. Legion Warboss is great against Boros postboard because they don't actually have that much removal, and it's also great against control decks like Jeskai, obviously, which Banefire is there for as well because they can't really stop a Banefire for 20 to their face, and that's what Treasure Map helps you ramp into.
Awesome. Yeah, that pretty much. I was just gonna go down the list, but you're just like boom, 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 boom. It turns out you know a few things. All right. Well, I think that's all I really had then, because you really covered everything I wanted to say. Right. Never apologize. That was incredible. It's nice to actually have someone who has a bit of more of that experience on here, and I really thank you for coming out and showing me this very interesting pile of Magic cards. You can see we have the list down in the description below. If you're watching this on Twitch, though, go to the YouTube page and then check it out, unless we're already done. Anyway, I am Eric Searfoss Miller.
I'm Wyatt Gibson.
And thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Goodbye.